minute. Ilya, can you go to the office and bring extra laptop, please?
Okay.
I mean, not laptop, sorry, iPad. I was like pointing at this and saying laptop.
Okay. So we have to hold this up now when we
No,
talk?
no, no, no.
Okay.
We just want to make sure if the sound system is working.
It's on already.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to our Life in Fairfax session presented by PAC. I'm Haley Grizzle, a Fairfax student, and I'll be presenting the Life in Fairfax PowerPoint.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'm a student from Mason, Korea, and I'll be asking a couple questions with Haley and answering questions as well.
difficulties. So once again, this is our Life in Fairfax student presentation by PAC, and we will hold a presentation, go over the Mason Korea website, and then take questions for anybody who has questions. So we will begin this presentation with housing in Fairfax. and dining. So it gives in our emails for what you need to know on campus. And finally, we have the things to do in DC, which include museums, the National Mall, the Federal counts for baseball tickets as well because this is our area's baseball team. So if you have any questions, head over straight to the website and the link is present in the PowerPoint and will be posted elsewhere on the Mason Korea website and sent out as well. So finally, we're going to go through some questions that we have received and questions that you may send in the chat. So if anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat and we will be answering questions first that we received in our QR code link. So here you go.
All right, so our first question is, where is the on-campus COVID-19 testing sites? So you can find the COVID testing sites by the President Cabrera's Global Center on the Fairfax campus. So there are signs to follow to get to the testing site, so please look for the signs and the physical address. Should I mention it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the address is 4352 Mason Pond Drive, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030, in building number 96 on the main campus. All right, and then another question related to COVID-19 is, can I get tested if I don't have symptoms? So there is a link for you to check in and see if you are, if you fulfill the criteria, but most of the cases, unless if you don't have any symptoms, you cannot get tested. Okay, next question.
Our next question is, which residential dining halls will be open? So right now in Fairfax campus, Ike's and Southside will be open. Unfortunately, right now the Global Center is not predicted to be open for dining. That may change in upcoming times, but right now it's not open and it's at reduced capacity. you will have to make a reservation to dine in these areas because there's reduced capacity. And like in Korea, you're not supposed to have more than 4 people at a table, and you don't want to sit directly across from each other. You'll have to check in when you come into the dining halls. And if you happen to go to the Smithsonian Mason School of Conservation, the Commons Dining Hall will be open in August, and there's no reservation you have to make to dine there.
All right. The next question is protocols on campus. So, like as we mentioned, we are in a middle of a pandemic. So, always wear your face masks, keep a distance, make sure to follow the hygiene guidelines, and also take the return to campus trainings. Also, if you check your emails, there's always an email that says complete your daily status check with Mason COVID Health. So please make sure to check in each day. And if you do have any symptoms that may be related to COVID-19, please contact the school and get tested.
How do I use robot delivery? So if you noticed in the beginning of our PowerPoint, there is a picture of our food delivery fleet. These are tiny little robots that deliver food on campus from the restaurants. They don't deliver from the dining halls, but they deliver from the restaurants. So to use these robots, you download the Starship Delivery app. You create an account and you place your order, and the robots will come to you wherever you decide to order them at, and you click a button on your phone that says, I'm here, I found my robot. You take your food out, and the robot will talk to you. The robot will say, here's your delivery. You take your food out, you close the robot up, and he'll say, thank you, have a great day. There are other ways that the robots will talk to you. If you pick them up, they will say, don't pick me up. If you ride on them, they will ask you not to ride on them. Another fun fact about our delivery robots is that they wear Halloween costumes on Halloween. And every year, whoever finds the robots first with their Halloween costumes on and takes pictures with them will get a prize. Our next question is, what are the must-try meals on campus? So, a personal favorite of almost everybody on campus are Chick-fil-A and Chipotle. Those are the popular restaurants on campus. In addition, Wingstop is a great wing place to eat. It's in the hub, which you will learn about if you check out our website. Sunday brunch at Southside, if you have a dining plan, is a must. It is my favorite time to eat in the dining hall because they're popping out specialty meals. They are putting all of their effort into meals and trying new recipes and whatnot. In addition, they have some type of specialty bar up there. So one time we had a hot chocolate bar where you could customize your hot chocolate with toppings and flavors. There's a tea bar one time, a lemonade bar. They have all sorts of different interesting things going on in Sunday brunch. Okay, how do I get from Washington, D.C. from Fairfax campus? I do not recommend driving. It'll take a very long time, and DC is stressful to drive through. I recommend that you take the metro. So, take the Mason shuttle or the Q bus to the Vienna metro station. It is the last stop on the Q bus. If you take that, you won't have to worry about doing anything because it's the last stop. Once you get there, you get whatever type of pass, which we will discuss later, and you hop on the orange line first. Once you get on the orange line, you're going to check out where you want to go. So the orange line will take you into Washington, D.C. And what you're going to want to do is decide where you're going because you're going to have to get off the orange line potentially and switch to either the silver line, the blue line, the yellow line. And that'll take you to your specific location in DC. DC is a lot bigger than you may think. So if you want to go to, say, Tinleytown, you're going to have to jump from a new line. If you want to go to the Federal Triangle, you're going to want to go to a different line. So just check that all out. It's really not that complicated, but one thing to know is always get on the orange line first.
All right. Our next question is, would you provide student discount available for GMU students? And there is actually a website. It's quite long, but if you go on www.gmu.edu/discounts, then you'll be able to find the possible discounts you can get when you go to a restaurant or different places around campus. So please check that out.
This is all link. Any link we put in these presentations or talk about is going to be in the international students website. Some recommended websites to purchase flight tickets at a low cost. Flights are not as cheap in America as they are in Korea, but you can find discounts. I recommend getting mile points as well. Find programs that offer mileage points. But some good things to purchase any type of travel plan, hotels, Airbnbs, is through Expedia, Booking.com, and Travelocity. These will help you find discounts and certain rates as well. And remember to always check for student discounts, student rates. Being a college student really will save you some money if you just ask or look for the discounts.
All right, so the next question is, what is Virginia's food? The answer is country ham. I didn't know about this.
Yeah, we have a really big, Smithfield, we have a Smithfield like packing company, and that's where we do like ham and pig products. So that's a really big thing in Virginia because we are part of the Smithfield plant.
All right, so the next question is, what are the surrounding states of Virginia? So some of the surrounding states of Virginia are North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Maryland.
There is actually a place in Virginia where you can stand in all the surrounding states at one time, which is pretty cool. I've never been there, but I want to go there one day. So you can look up where it's actually, I actually don't know where it's at. I just know it exists. But you can look it up, and that may be a cool destination if you want to stand in the surrounding states all at once.
All right, another question is, when is the last date that I can go to Fairfax by plane? I heard it was the 15th, but the school has postponed the school starting date to 25th from the original date of the 19th. To answer that question, please attend the Transitions to Fairfax orientation for more information.
The dates due to the pandemic are changing constantly, so we don't actually have the direct answer for that, but all of your questions will be answered in your pre-departure orientation as well. Okay, our next question is, can I take Spanish 110 even though I took classes of Spanish 101 and Spanish 102? Spanish 110 is a 6-credit class which includes studies in Spanish 101 and Spanish 102. You can take it. You can register for whichever class you want, but there may be a more efficient way to get your foreign language credits. I recommend taking the Spanish placement test, which will determine where you need to start in foreign language. So because Spanish 102 and Spanish 101 are what make up Spanish 110, you can start at another level and still get your credits. So once again, take the placement exam and it'll put you where you need to be, whether that's starting in Spanish 110 or a 200 level Spanish. You can also test out of Spanish and you will still get your credits. Okay, our next question is, where to buy groceries? So there's a couple grocery stores that are close to campus. One that's within walking distance is the Giant on Braddock Road. You go out of campus and just walk straight and you will be able to show up to the Giant, which is a grocery store popular in Fairfax. In addition, you can go to the Walmart and the H Mart, which is an Asian food store. These aren't exactly in walking distance, but you can get to them using the Q bus or the the Mason shuttle. And there's actually typically people go in groups when they go shopping to go together and they can help each other find them. So take the buses and you'll find all your grocery needs. How to use the metro. So this is going to be me kind of answering the question personally based on experience. So when I use the metro, I buy a day pass, which is around $15. This gives you unlimited swipes into the metro for an entire 24 hours. Now, typically, if you're going to DC for the day, you're going to be spending around $15 anyways, probably more. So instead of buying pass for each stop, I would just buy a day pass because 9 times out of 10, it's going to add up to more than 15 anyways, and it'll be a steal if you actually do the day pass. And it'll also save you a lot of trouble if you miss a stop or if you don't know where you're going. So I recommend buying a day pass. There's also other passes as well, but as I mentioned, the day pass is just really affordable and really beneficial. Some things about the metro is the metros are not the same as they are in Korea. So there's no rules on being quiet. They're not as efficient, and just don't be surprised when there's a huge kind of culture shock when it comes to the metro. They are safe, they'll get you where you need to be, and they are easy to use, but there's definitely a huge difference between the metros here and the metros in DC. They do the line by colors rather than names. So you have the orange line, the silver line, the blue line, the yellow line, and those are how you use the metro. And then if you use your Google Maps or something, it'll tell you exactly what line you need to get on. What if I am homesick? So if you're homesick, some things we kind of recommend for people that have lived in Korea and Korean students is there are 2 towns that have a large Korean and Asian presence in general. It's Annandale and Centerville. These surround campus on opposite sides, and they have the cafe culture that we're used to here. They have the Asian food stores, the restaurants. It's particularly actually a Korean presence in these 2 cities. So if you are feeling homesick and you kind of want to come back into a little bit of Korean culture, I suggest you go to Annandale and Centerville. I really like Annandale. That's where a lot of my favorite restaurants are. In addition, you're going to have a lot of Asian-owned and Korean-owned businesses. So other than food, you can find skincare stores. So that may be helpful because in our own beauty stores, we may not have Korean products. If you go to these 2 towns, you'll find Korean products and other things that you are used to using in Korea. So in these towns, the best Korean barbecue place is Iron Age. I love this. It was one of the first Korean barbecue places I went to. It's really good and really authentic. In addition, there's So and Honey Pig. Let's see. What about hotels and traveling? So, a little bit about the hotels are they're not as cheap in the United States, so you're really going to want to do your research and make sure you find the best deals. In addition, the hotels are a lot different. So here you can go to a motel and be perfectly fine. I would not recommend staying in motels in the United States. Go straight for Airbnb and hotels because the motels are just not going to be nice. They're going to be in areas that you shouldn't be in if you're not. Nobody should be there in general. And just make sure that you are prepared for any type of situation because it's not as easy to get a hotel. It's not as easy to know that the hotels are as nice. So just do lots of research, check the reviews, ask your friends and people who have lived in the United States what the best hotel is, if they know any hotels in the area where you are going, and they'll let you know. Check the hotel's website. Second-party resources may not be the best. Check the hotel's website if you want to book. For taking trains places, like we have the train here to go to Busan and whatnot, Amtrak. Amtrak offers discounts to students. They offer holiday discounts. That's how we get up and down the East Coast and to other locations in the United States. Finally, we recommend that you either drive or do a train because, like we mentioned before, flying is relatively expensive.
All right, so there's a question about etiquette and manners. So, unlike in Korea, where like the answers to everything is pushing people around, you can't do that in the States. Please always say thank you or sorry or excuse me when you're passing by people. And make sure to hold the door because that's manner. And when people sneeze, okay, next question.
Okay, we're going to go into a few deeper things and some really important safety things that I think you guys should really know. These are going to be some topics that are going to be the most important to know on campus, and this first one is going to be safety on campus in Fairfax in the United States. I'm sure as many people know that we don't have the same culture. It's not as safe as we are in Korea, which is why many people like coming to Korea. But do not worry, do not let this scare you. Fairfax is incredibly, incredibly safe. Our police force is great. Our Mason police force is great. You will not be in danger as long as you follow what we're telling you and follow what the campus tells you. Mason campus is very safe as well. Despite it being an open campus, I have never feared for my safety or anything. So like going to Mason Fairfax is going to be great for you and you're going to be safe and just follow what you need to do and you're going to have a great experience. But some tips I have are travel in groups, especially at night. Don't ever walk alone. Don't walk by yourself places, whether it's at day or night. Like try to be with a crowd and try to be with multiple people, but especially in somewhere and you set a time. Okay, I will be back in my dorm at 8 o'clock. I'm leaving work. If you don't hit the check-in button at 8 o'clock, they call the police. And the police will show up to your last known location. That way, they can find you easier because they showed up at your last known location, which shouldn't be too far from wherever you may have got lost or disappeared. There's other features on the Rave Guardian app, such as the emergency phone numbers, and it's just a really good app that will keep you safe. You can also put your emergency contacts in this app. We don't have a huge night culture in the United States. Things typically close in the early hours of the morning, and people don't really appreciate you walking around and making noise at night. If you happen to go to like the clubbing scene, the hours are going to be a little bit later, and there's going to be a lot more foot traffic. But be aware that the night culture is not the same as it is in Korea. You will get in trouble for noise disturbances, and if you're walking around somewhere or hanging around somewhere that there's not a lot of people at, the police may come and ask you what you're doing and ask you to leave. You're not going to get in any trouble as long as you're not causing trouble or doing something that's illegal. But if you're just sitting around like a building at night or in a park that's supposed to be closed after sunset, they're going to ask you to leave. The only things that are open 24/7 are gas stations, which are like the equivalent of like GS25s and whatnot. So those are the only things that are open 24/7 right now. Before the pandemic, we used to have one dining hall on campus open 24/7, but because of the pandemic, it's closed. In addition, there used to be a Starbucks on campus that was open 24/7. But generally, don't expect things to be open past 1 or 2 unless it's designated to be open late. 911 is our emergency number. You can call that number for any type of emergency. You'll get connected to the police, an ambulance, or something that you need. In addition, our emergency numbers are on the website for more specific uses. We also have our own police force on campus. The Mason Police will help you if you don't want to call the real police. Next topic that is really, really, really important that also kind of goes along with our nightlife scene is drinking. So, again, we don't have the same drinking culture in America as we do in Korea, and the ages are different. So you have to be 21 to drink in the United States, and you can't drink out in the open like you can like outside of GS25. You can't walk around with drinks outside. Like you have to be in an establishment that serves drinks or at a festival that serves drinks. You can't just walk around the city with drinks, and you can't be intoxicated. Public intoxication is a crime, and if you meet a police officer that is not friendly, you may get in trouble for it. So be aware, like you can walk home from a pocha here and be a little silly, be a little loud, and typically nothing's going to happen, but that's not the same thing that'll happen in the United States. In addition, if you get caught drinking in the dorms, same as it is here, you will get in trouble and you'll get a write-up. So just beware that we have a different drinking culture and that there are rules about drinking on campus. Some other random facts and questions that we receive that are important is that a lot of things are closed on Sundays. People like to take Sundays off, so make sure if you make plans that things are open on Sundays. Restaurants may or may not be open. It really depends. So just make sure you check times and days. The websites will always be clear of when they're open. Follow your traffic laws as a pedestrian. Do not jaywalk because you will get hit by a car, especially on Braddock Road during the high traffic hours. Do not cross the street unless you have the green light. In addition, if you have the green light, beware of the cars who can turn on right. Just because you have the green light, the cars will still turn if they have a right on red. So beware, be vigilant so you don't get hit by cars in traffic. Follow the laws and you'll be cool. Food delivery services that we have in the United States. Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Postmates. I recommend Uber Eats. The best delivery service in my opinion. Car services. We don't have taxis per se in the United States, especially in Fairfax. You have to go to big cities like New York for that. But we have driving services such as Uber and Lyft, and they are affordable. I prefer Uber. I've taken Lyfts. I just think the prices on Uber are better. Download both. These will get you where you need to go. They're safe, they're clean, and they typically will always be around, especially in the nighttime. You can find an Uber. But again, things don't stay late as open, so you may be able to find an Uber, and typically you can find an Uber, but I wouldn't guarantee it like you do on Kakao Taxi. But I know I've taken an Uber around 3 a.m. in the United States as well, if you're going from a highly populated area to another highly populated area. Just remember that we don't stay open late, and always be aware of the cultural differences. And if you have any questions, you can come to the Mason Lounge where me and Vivian are, and we will answer any more in-depth questions about what it's like to live in the United States and live in Fairfax.
I have one question.
Where can you purchase Mason gear? So, 2 places you can purchase Mason gear that are really helpful are, first off, in our bookstore in Fairfax. In the Johnson Center, which again is the main building on campus where we have a lot of offices and food and things, is our bookstore. So this is where you can purchase all your Mason gear. You get new gear every season. And some things I want to talk about with the Mason bookstore is you get your 10% discount as a student. And if you go into the second floor below, well, I guess it's the basement floor. The floor below the main entrance, there will be the discounted section. These are things that maybe people didn't buy, some things that they bought too much of, other just discounts, things from last season, and you can go and get a lot of stuff in there for a discounted price. Things on the top floor are the new stuff, the more expensive stuff. Things on the bottom are the cheaper, discounted stuff, and that's where I get a lot of my Mason gear. It's inexpensive, and they still have a lot of cute stuff as well. So I recommend checking out both floors. In addition, the bookstore has an online website, which we have put in the comments, and you can look at it there. Also, Amazon. Amazon has so much stuff you can buy of Mason gear. So if you're just looking for even more cheap Mason gear, some stuff that you want, look on Amazon as well and order it from there. Sometimes, if you go thrift shopping or you go to the stores that surround the campus, they will have Mason gear as well. I believe the Walmart and the Target next to the surrounding areas of campus will sell Mason gear, especially in the start of the semester, which is common with a lot of college stores. They will sell the college that frequents the area in the bookstores. If you have any more questions, we have about 10 more minutes to answer questions, so please comment them down below and we will answer your questions. Jenny, do you want to put the feedback link in there?
Yes.
Here, you can do it on this one. We will be putting a feedback link as well, so you can fill that out about our session and it'll help us improve it for next time, but we are still taking questions.
Is it on the drive?
It's just a link. You can maybe pull it from this as well.
Really? Oh.
I know it. I copied and pasted. How is Mason Day in Fairfax? So actually, I have never been to a Mason Day in Fairfax.
Oh.
Because I immediately came to Korea. So Mason Day is actually in the spring, and I came to Korea during my spring semester. So I've never been to a Mason Day. But based on the pictures and all I hear about it, it looks incredible. We do like a little fair. There's so much food. You get tons of gear, and there's a lot going on in Mason Day. I don't really know much about Mason Day. I was really excited to go, but I missed it, and then there was a pandemic, so I think they canceled it as well. But go look on our photos website, which is photos.gmu.edu, and it'll show you pictures of Mason Day. It looks like a blast. You will have a great time. Mason is always doing crazy things all the time, so their events never fail to make me smile, and they're so much fun. So Mason Day is definitely going to be a blast. I had copied and pasted it, but I guess not.
Does it happen in spring semester? Fall semester?
It's spring semester. There's single artist. Yep, carnival rides. We had carnival rides during another event, so they definitely have them during the Mason Day. I'm sorry I can't answer it much more. I immediately came to Korea, so I missed Mason Day. I was really excited for it based on the pictures, and I was like, oh wait, I'm not going to be there. I'll be in Korea. One thing about Fairfax is they're always giving out free stuff all the time. One kind of story is I was walking to class one day, and I got stopped by the Jewish American Club, and they asked me, they were like, do you want to make a tie-dye t-shirt and eat pizza with us? And I was like, yeah. So on the way to class, I made a tie-dye t-shirt and ate pizza for free just on my way to class. And that is something that happens all the time. You are never, there's always going to be people asking you if you want to do something. There's always going to be sponsored events and stuff going on. Check Mason 360 app is going to have the 1,000 of activities going on daily, weekly on campus for you to participate in. And sometimes you don't have to RSVP. Right now we're in a pandemic, so you're going to have to RSVP, but half the time you can just show up to things and hang out. And you will get hundreds of t-shirts, hundreds of cups and prizes and merch. So you're definitely not, you're going to have so much gear and you're not going to know what to do with it. I gained like 12 cups my first semester just from going to basketball games and going to events, and they're like, here, have 100 tiny things you don't need but you're going to keep forever because it's from your college.
Question from Instagram.
Commonwealth. You can't live in Commonwealth, that's a freshman dorm, but I recommend living in the Rappahannock neighborhood. That's the neighborhood I lived in. You can live in there, and that's close to a dining hall, close to the Johnson Center, and close to a parking lot. Because I was only there one semester and lived in a freshman dorm, I can't tell you exactly what other dorms are like, but I recommend living in Rappahannock neighborhood. I know that when I go back next semester, I applied for the Mason townhouses. Those are cool. You have a living room, bedrooms, kitchen, and a washing and dryer, which is cool. So all of our dorms are really nice, and they're really all kind of set up the same. The newest is Taylor Hall, but again, that's a freshman residence area, so you can't live there unless you're a freshman, which I don't think anybody is. So just check out the website. It'll show you pictures, and you'll know where you want to live based on those pictures. All the buildings are really nice and really well accommodated. Your RAs are going to be lovely. They're going to do 100 events, and you're going to have a great time living on campus. I would not want to live anywhere but on campus.
All right.
Another question from Instagram.
Okay. We're waiting on another question to load. Yeah.
Did you share with someone?
Did you share a room with someone?
Oh, yes, I had a roommate. So, sure, okay, I see it. So I had one roommate. She was lovely. So I was randomly selected. I didn't come in with wanting to room with anybody, so they placed me with somebody. And when you're filling out your housing form, there's check boxes. Do you want to live with somebody who smokes? Do you live with somebody who wakes up at this time? Do you live with somebody who wants lots of friends over? Do you mind pets? So stuff like that, and they'll pair you with somebody who has a match, who has the same percentage or a close percentage. And so that's how they find people who can live together. And you meet your roommate before, you talk to them, you decide what you want to do, and if you get there and decide, I can't live with this person, you're offered a roommate switch, but I didn't have an issue. Nobody else in my floor had an issue. In the suites, I had one roommate, and then I had two suite mates. So in the suites, there was me and my roommate, a bathroom, and the bathroom was connected to another room. And so 4 girls shared the bathroom. That was it. And I got along with my suite mates. We had lots of fun together, and we separated cleaning duties, and it was a great time. So that was my experience with living in the dorm. It was great. I wouldn't worry about it. Roommate with somebody you want a room. Make suite mates with people. It's really easy to just live with people, and you'll get along. You're all college students. You're all adults, unless they lied on their fill out sheet, you're probably not going to have a problem.
All right. Any more questions?
Any final questions before we wrap it up? Again, feel free to come to the office, DM us on Instagram, comment on anything if you have any questions, email us. We're willing to answer any questions that we didn't cover or isn't covered on the website. Feedback?
Yeah. I posted the feedback link, but it wasn't. It's not sending through.
Okay. Here, we'll try again here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. While you do that, I'll just explain.
Okay, we're about to post a feedback link. Hopefully it goes through.
Yes.
There we go. Are we still going?
Yeah. So just explain this.
So the feedback link has been posted. If you guys could all do the feedback link, that'll be great, and it'll help us improve the event for next time.
All right. Well, this is the end of the session. Like Kaylee said, if you guys have any other questions, you can feel free to email us at mkpa@gmu.edu, or you can visit us in the student lounge. Also, if you were joining us in the YouTube session, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had in the beginning, but we also recorded this session through our Instagram Live, so please check out our full recorded video.
We will send out the link for the website and the PowerPoint to you guys. I believe it's been sent out before. We will send it to everybody again. If you have any information, we'll post about it and whatnot. Thank you for coming to our Life in Fairfax session, and we hope we answered all your questions and really taught you a lot about Fairfax. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.